What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Considering the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So if it's OU related, college football related, sports related, we have a good time.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
Do you think Gary Patterson is a few five-star recruits away from a national championship run? Yeah, and he has been for 18 years. Like, he just can't get those guys. So he builds his defense on speed. Kind of like Dallas decided to do. Like, I was wondering when somebody was going to pick up Gary Patterson's defense and decide to put it on the NFL level because it works. You know, people are like, nah, it's just built to stop spread. Oh, now that you have spread, you thinking that you should run some 4-1-6 and some 4-2-5? Get out of here. You know, I mean, that's what Dallas did. That's what Gary Patterson did. They just got speed at every position. So, yeah, you get a couple five-star dudes. Yeah, TCU is a problem, just like they were a problem a few years back. Remember when it was Art Briles' Baylor and TCU as Gary Patterson that were challenging for that 4th spot and they got shafted because they made Baylor, like, what was it? They made Baylor 5 and TCU 6 with the final rankings. And we were going Big 12 can't win. Same way that a lot of folks were going that Ohio State can't win. Goes in cycles. So it's not as if he hasn't already been there, right? He made a run. And he's just having a down year. They'll be back. It's Gary Patterson. They'll be back. You know, I mean, you can make a good argument. There are 4 games that Oklahoma loses if Kyler Murray's not the quarterback, right? Army, 1. Texas, 2. Lost that game. West Virginia, certainly 3. And Texas Tech, certainly 4. Could also make a good argument they could have lost to Texas in the Big 12 championship. Kyler Murray's the most important player for Oklahoma and probably by a wide margin at this point. You know, because we've seen 3 running backs go down, 4 running backs go down at any particular juncture, right? You play games where Hollywood ain't very good, and you play games where he ain't 100%. You play games where CD ain't very good, right? The only real things you can depend on with the offense was that the offensive line was going to be good and Kyler was going to be good. And even as the offensive line couldn't run the ball against Texas, the pass pro was pretty outstanding. There's lots of talk about whether or not Austin Kendall should be the starter going in. I think he's penciled in right now as a starter, even though folks don't like it. I think Tanner Mordecai is going to give him a run. I think Spencer Rattler's going to redshirt, right? That said, Kelly Bryant picked Missouri, so he's off the board. Khalil Tate is transferring from Arizona, and some folks already want to throw Oklahoma out. Sure. Jalen Hurt also might think about transferring. Why? He ain't going to be the guy next year. He knew he wasn't going to be the guy this year. Perhaps he wants an opportunity to put enough of himself on tape to get into the NFL. That said, he has to have enough of himself on tape. He's 26-2 as a starter with a national championship. And there's folks that are saying perhaps he goes to Texas. I don't see that. Sam Ehlinger is not only the starting quarterback at Texas, he's Tom Herman's guy. They love each other. Like, they really do. And you're not gonna tell Mr. Texas to take a seat for Jalen Hurts. Sam Ehlinger thinks he was born to be a Longhorn. He was born to be the quarterback at Texas. I don't think Jalen Hurts shares that kind of emotion for the University of Texas. And I'm not particularly sure that they want that guy to be their leader. I think the folks that are at Texas would rather have somebody who grew up wanting to play at Texas. That said, yeah, Jalen Hurts could end up there, but also he could end up at Oklahoma, right? Because it ain't like you got to be an outstanding passer. It helps to be an outstanding passer. But he's a good enough passer to be great in Lincoln Riley's system in a way that I don't think that Khalil Tate naturally is. I think Khalil Tate is an option quarterback who can throw. Kind of like Pat White was at West Virginia for the old heads in here. But I think that Jalen Hurts has more of a Johnny Manziel type of feel to his game where he has to be outside the pocket to make plays than I would think, say, a Khalil Tate is, right? That said, Lincoln Riley is really good at picking quarterbacks. Turned Shane Carden into an absolute flamethrower. We know what he did with Baker. Know what he's done with Kyler. So whoever that guy decides he wants to be his quarterback, that's who I want to be Oklahoma's quarterback. Because that man's undefeated when it comes to picking quarterbacks and running his offense. That said, you know, that those transfers are getting tricky. Not because I'm against it. I wish the kids could transfer year to year. I wish they could be free agents every single year because I like that about the sport, and I think that the players need more advantages than the ones that they have. However, it's real hard to think that Jalen Hurts would leave Alabama after this, right? Because he and Nick Saban are now buds. You know, Nick Saban nearly came unglued, tearing up because of the way that Jalen Hurts bailed him out of the loss against Georgia, when he knows he shouldn't have had Jalen Hurts on his roster to begin with, and he should have redshirted him to do right by the kid. So yeah, you are never going to have anything bad to say about that kid because you gave him the shaft and he still bailed you out. You owe him your firstborn at this point, Nick Saban. And I think Jalen Hurts liked to be vindicated. You know, I think he likes to know, y'all should have been believing in me from the jump because we'd still be this good. You can make an argument that Tua Tagovailoa is a better quarterback, right? We all know that. But it's still Jalen Hurts, and he's still 26-2, and he still has a national championship, right? So, I mean, I think that's a guy you got to keep in mind. I would be interested to see where he ends up, even if it is Alabama in 2019, the start of the season. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Deuces.